Good day to everybody out there, and welcome to this Speed Gaming presentation of the Link to the Past Randomizer 2022 main tournament. A round of 32 match between Humbugh and John Snuu. Game 2 in a best-of-3 set that Humbugh leads 1-0. I am my DM. I am joined in the booth by a longtime commentator, and gonna be doing the duty again today. Koi Stream, how are you doing?
Whoa. It's not Mean Deem?
It is not.
But I've always called you Mean Deem.
I know.
But you've never corrected me.
No, I have not.
My whole world's like shattered. I don't even know what to believe anymore.
And right before a big match, too. Well, here we are. We're off, so we're going to have to get it together quick here, I think. We do have inverted key sanity with this starting flute. Both of our runners going to use it. Both of them going to flute to 6. This has become a bit of a normal or standardized opener for this mode, I think.
Honestly, I don't see how you do anything other than flute to Meyer Shut immediately.
I've seen some people go pull Thieves Town, see if they can get some money and or some bombs, do a little archery game, those kinds of things. But yeah, I like this play
it's just there's no real downside to coming over here because, you know, like I guess maybe you'd want to pair it with Meyer later, but you're like 5 items from Meyer being a thing. Like we need a sword, we need a medallion, we need to hookshot our boots. And then even if you had all those things, it's not like you want to go straight to Meyer. So I don't know. There's no reason for like putting off Meyer Shut, I don't think.
I'd say the only reason would be if you were scared of the Murderdactyl, but if you've made it to the round of 32, that's probably not you.
You can probably walk around it without too much trouble. And plus, you never have flippers at the start of the game, so you can just hop in the water. He can't hit you when you have iframes. All right, well, we have our first divergence. John Snuu heading south with 20 rupees to get this archery game.
A known proprietor of the 99 strat. Let's see if he's going to break it out for us here. Probably go slow and easy on the first one just to make sure that those 20 rupees don't vanish into the ether.
Yeah, so what? How do you say it? How does it go?
What, my name?
Yeah.
Main DM.
Main DM, God, is that if you hit the same target 5 times in a row, the last reward, instead of being 64 rupees, will be 99 rupees. Just like that. On the last one.
Makes it look easy. Probably didn't even need to go the 3rd round, but you're already in there. Maybe you want to show off a little bit for the fans at the start of the game.
It's only 35 extra rupees because it's only an increase on the last one. It's not actually an extra 100. It's only extra 35. But it is also faster than waiting for 5 targets.
Now, while we were all engrossed in John Snoo's archery game, and now he's pulling the hammer as well, Humbugh did get the hook shot there in the front of Thieves Town.
Yeah, and importantly, found a 50-50 bomb twice.
Better lucky than good and sometimes, huh?
No rupees for the chess game at this time, though. But we can always flute back here.
Well, he found a 50 in the front, so he did chest game coming out.
Oh, did he? Oh, did he find a 50? Oh, I thought he had the 20 from CJ House, but he just got that. Oh, I'm surprised he's not going south then. I think he'd be going south for the money and the game and Stumpy and all that. Oh, don't die. Okay, he might die. Okay, we're fine. What a whirlwind. What a whirlwind to see.
Gonna prove its worth.
Oh my god. Nothing feels worse than dying on an overworld. Except maybe dying to, like, I don't know, Artemis. That feel pretty bad.
Yeah, at least in the early game here with that starting activated flute, if you happen to, say, die on the Thieves Town overworld, it's not the world's worst thing to have to come back. Skullwood's a little less,
well,
less great, but still, it's time that you would prefer not to lose.
The time loss may not be all that significant, but the shame. You can't discount the shame.
Yeah, this is true. That may be why I'm already out of this tournament. I don't have that anymore.
So Humbug actually, he dove the front, grabbed the chest to the right, and then dropped in the pit. Now, we are not guaranteed a small key in here, so we will most likely be saving and quitting, but this does orphan the vanilla big key chest. So maybe Jon Snow will be grabbing that for us, and it could end up being a huge difference maker.
One thing that I've noticed in this mode is there's no reason to ever save and quit to anywhere but the house.
Well, if you need refill.
Yeah, but you have to pay for the refill in the Dark World.
Well, yeah, but like in the late game, you always have so many rupees. All right, Jon Snow headed up to Skullwoods here. We'll see if he takes a different route. Hype Cave for the first time, though. We get a TR key. That's something. And apparently that's the only thing.
Yeah, the glove was pretty good.
Oh, did I just miss an entire chest? Okay, yeah, glove's pretty good.
Not the greatest tree pole in the world, that single rupee pack. You'd like it to be, well, literally anything else.
Jon Snoo's actually farming for bombs here. Two of these spots have a single bomb underneath them. You just die and reset it, get 2 and more. It seems like such a big commitment, though, when you have rupees. You could just buy bombs if you need them.
Yeah, it's the bombs. There are also some small magic decanters there, so maybe it's a hedge against getting some kind of a useful magical item in the near future.
Only did it twice. Oh, it looks like Jon Snow was thinking about immediately dropping down to the pit, but changed his mind. Gonna head up to the vanilla big key check instead. Now I can see why Humbug wants to skip this. This chest is just horrible to get to without a sword, or a boomerang, or a fire rod, or anything.
Or maybe even a cane of Samaria. You can just kind of body your way through the bar.
Well, yeah,
and move along. That would be just fine.
That just makes it free.
The whole statue push is not so great.
Well, Jon Snow makes it through, but is it worth it? Was it progression? Yeah, I guess later.
Ish, yeah. Of
It's
course,
not gonna.
when you already have the hook shot, maybe you hope to never need it. You're gonna hair pot anyway.
It's definitely not going to help us right this second, but it could matter later if Humbug puts it off for too long.
And maybe a little more likely in a keys mode to have something else that we need than just being in a situation where, oh, well, we're skipping the hair big chest. Whatever. If the big key's just in the dungeon, then it matters a whole lot less. But now that we've got all these keys floating around...
So we have Hookshot, Hammer, Glove. Smart money's on Hookshot Cave, right?
Yeah, it sure looks that way. Although Humbug is going to do one of these slow and, I would say, kind of terrible checks in this inverted mode with the starting flute. Getting the old man here is pretty time-consuming.
It is in logic, though, with the lamp, and it's never going to get any faster, no matter what you want. I think we'll probably head to the mountain for Jon Snow as well. Well, after Hype Cave, of course.
He needs to hit Hype Cave first.
There's also the option you could play a little more thorough, do like Catfish and Pyramid first, which are not as terrible to get to as they would normally be with the flute.
Yeah, when you have that early glove and you can flute to Dark World 2, it's a reasonable-ish walk to both of those spots.
I mean, there's certainly no guarantee that our progression, that our Moon Pearl specific is what we're looking for, is going to be in Hype Cave. Or it's not Hype Cave, Hookshot Cave. It's just that's the most dense area that we have logical access to, so it's likely. But since when does Randomizer care about likely?
No, it's more about percentages than likely. Which sound like the same thing at first blush, but aren't always.
Are they not the same thing? What did Jon Snoo do that Humbug didn't? Besides his
Aside
catfish
from
deck.
the statue push, it's a good question.
Because Humbug's kind of on a big lead on these checks. Must have done something.
Unless he just left something behind and we missed it.
Catfish? What do you got? I'll take it, but I regret it. Okay. Worst map. Oh, we're gonna get the pyramid too. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Like, you could go up the mountain. The mountain's most likely to have the progression, but if it's not, it's kind of a long trip. Where these two checks, they're not really going to get that much better. Like you could hope for the mirror and to do these from the light world, but there's no guarantee of that. Ooh, Humbug in a little trouble here. It's very difficult to get close enough to him without getting hit. Nice hard drop.
Nice hammer in the second room, though I would have been very tempted to just go ahead and stun those. Hi, game. That's... Yeah, that's a thing.
It's happening. Oh, the bomb farming. That's what it was. Yeah, you're right. Okay, not 2 vanilla keys, at least. But
then we would start having to accuse it of being the other keys mode in this tournament.
A single pod key, though, is significant. That is 2 in-logic checks that just became available with 1 key per pod. So now pod is 3 checks instead of 1. Triple the value! Or what is it in Bioshock? What the vending machine say?
I do not know.
Oh my god. Chat, help me.
Chat knows. I'm sure somebody in chat
It's like da 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 da. I forget what he says. Something of value. Oh, the circus of values. Second castle tower key. I wonder if that's significant.
No, couldn't be. We don't have a sword yet.
Just you wait. Guess what's in pod?
Yeah, that's not going to show up here at all in the next minute or 2. Never happens. A shield is perhaps unsurprisingly not a sword.
Humbug going to climb up to Spec Rock, I guess? Did he not do that before? He must not have done that before. Oh, Spike Cave, you're right. I forgot about that.
Alright, yep, that would do it.
It's convenient getting the full magic and the blue cane in the same spot. So you actually only need 3 hearts to do this, but it's really, really tight, so 5 is a lot nicer.
And a little added movement advantage from the hookshot never hurt anybody.
Not sure it was worth the menus, though. Just for one hook shot. Probably not.
And all that for the map to Eastern Palace. You kind of want the magic decanter back.
Too bad he didn't think to save and quit after Super Bunny. Or did he? Didn't he?
Did.
Yeah, he could have just soft reset and got his magic back if he really wanted it. How many hearts is it with the fairy? I have it written down somewhere.
These Lionels are not playing nice with Jon Snuu right now.
I wrote down 7 hearts. If you only have a fairy in a bottle, 7 hearts. But you can probably shave it down to 6 with a hook shot. Yeah, this is not the fastest way to the pyramid, but like it's not something you think about because normally you don't get the flute for a long time, and by the time you get the flute, you've already checked the pyramid. This is specific to this mode where we get to start with that flute.
And now we're going to walk all the way back past the flute spot to 2. I think the idea of fluting to 2 in the Dark World has just not really occurred to Humbugh at the moment.
He may not have played a lot of Inverted. I know there's plenty of people who have gone like the entire tournament without seeing one of the 5 modes. So, it's probably pretty common that somebody hasn't seen a lot of 1 or 2 of the modes. At least not enough to remember everything every time. Jon Snuu also chose to save and quit at Super Bunny. Maybe we'll get the soft reset from him. All right, Humbugh.
Well, I think he also needs to go in and get that pod key from the castle tower.
You are right, he hasn't got in there yet, huh? Looks like he's gonna skip it again. Oh, that's too bad. So the 2 checks that are unlocked with that single small key, though, you can also sequence break to them if you mimic clip the right side. So it may not be the end of the world if he mimic clips, but he'll be very confused for a minute if that were to happen and finds the progression locked behind a key he doesn't have.
And that map to Eastern Palace worked to both of our runners, neither of them going to go ahead and save out of it.
No,
But
or
Jon Snuu is going to go for yet another mountain climb.
Goes right back to Castle Tower. It is surprising he didn't do this first, since he had the mirror and the lamp and the Castle Tower key. Could have gotten 2 checks before doing Spike Cave. But it's slow. It's not super fast to do this with the hammer. And just blue mail in the first in logic check of pod, so the next 2 are locked behind that single small key we found. I mean, at this point, I would be thinking there's probably just progression in Castle Tower, right? It's not until you find the second key that you're like, oh, it's an Aga seed. And there's that sword we're looking for. Aga in logic.
That was maybe a little longer than that minute or so that I was saying, but close enough. It was in the next major area that Humbugh went to.
And Humbugh is going to continue. Looks like we're going to get a mimic clip on the right side here. So this is a nifty little trick you can do. Well, some people can do. I can't do it. But if you make tiny little one frame movements and then you interrupt it with going up or down, you can clip him just a little bit into the wall each time. And if you do it enough times in a row without failing, he will clip so far into the wall that he starts scrolling off the screen. And then with all the mimics off screen, the door just kind of opens.
This is maybe a little more of the classic way using a menu buffer. Some people will use pause buffers. When Jon Snuu gets to this point, though, we're going to see this done unbuffered, which is absolutely terrifying to watch.
Yeah, I can't do it either way. It's so frustrating because the people that can do it, they're like, well, why don't you just try harder? And I'm like, well, I'm just not good enough. I'm sorry.
It's just like doing Icebreaker flawlessly 10 times in a row.
Look,
or 8 times or whatever it is.
Look, if you can hover, you can mimic clip, right?
Theoretically, I suppose. One of these things is substantially harder on emulator.
I don't know, they're equally easy for me. In that they're both impossible. Alright, we have nowhere else to go in the game. Time to kill Aga without a Moon Pearl.
And start bunny walking around the light world until we find it, or something that leads to it.
There are a number of checks that are in logic without the Moon Pearl. I guess 2. I'm thinking bottle merchant, sick kid if we had a bottle, which we don't. Is there anything else that we can even do?
That's a good question. We're locked out of the items in the forest because we'd have to lift bushes. You can super bunny into the well, but that's not a logical check.
Oh yeah,
so
we
you're not
can.
gonna get your.
We can super bunny into like 6 different places.
Oh sure, there's.
Oh, Smith. You're right. With the mirror, we can do Smiths. Smith and purple chest and hammer pegs are all available. Yeah, Unbuffer definitely a faster version of Mimiclip.
I cannot do it that way. All I get is a sore thumb and an unclipped mimic. People say it's really easy. You just make this Hadouken motion with your thumb. And I'm like, all right, well, I can do that, but it doesn't solve the problem that the mimic doesn't flip.
I could never make it the unbuffered work. I mean, I can do it buffered. I just can't do it consistently enough for it to be worth it. Because that's the main issue with Mimiclip is that it's not you have to do this one thing. You have to do this one thing like 12 times, and you can't mess up once. So it's really impressive to see runners do it so easily.
Time. That's the big part. As with so many other tricks.
But Humbugh with a definite lead right now. Already climbing to the top of the tower here. Unless he dies. Oh god. Okay, if he died right now, it would be even. Snuu having a much easier time on the ball and chain guards using that hook shot.
It's a lot more convenient to fight them when they're not trying to fight you.
Does the hook shot stun them for longer than the boomerang?
You know, I don't know. There are some things that have different stun durations, though.
Because I feel like the boomerang doesn't stun them for all that long when I've stunned them with it before. Or maybe I'm only thinking of maybe the one in the Zelda Cell area is different somehow. The hookshot is a longer stun. Oh, well there you go. Quick swap woes on Snoo's side. You can't kill things with the lamp.
As much as you might want to sometimes.
Alright, Humbugh did not die. That's good. Unfortunately, without the Moon Pearl, you also don't get the full heal like you normally would.
Going to step right inside here and take the intentional death to make the infernal beeping
Oh,
stop.
you know what? This explains everything. Humbugh was actually prepping for this death warp in Castle Tower. He was smarter than I gave him credit for. Because that was a very fast death warp, way faster than it's going to be for Jon Snow, who has 4 times as many hearts.
Luckily, you can get at the guards, and they'll happily do half a heart of damage to you all the time. It's entirely possible that Snoo could just go ahead and take a spare hit or two here from Aga if the blue balls happen to come out. That was not really counting when Humbug did it.
It was a number.
How much does the lightning do? I don't know that I've ever intentionally gotten myself hit by it.
I think it's a heart on Green Mill. No, this is not Super Bunny State. This is just straight up regular Link. With the glitch that Humbug employed is called a Dungeon Bunny Revival, and it is exactly what it sounds like. If you die in a dungeon, you are revived from a bunny into regular Link, or Yoshi, in Humbug's case. This is, of course, out of logic. You are expected to have the Moon Pearl for this place. Looks like Jon Snoo is a little confused.
Remembering at the last possible second that in the bunny state you are not going to be lifting anything.
Yeah, I think he forgot about those bushes in the way. Was probably playing it as Super Bunny, the Uncle Drop. But Jon Snoo not sequence breaking into Castle Tower, or Hyrule Castle rather.
It doesn't seem to have done all that much for Humbug, at least not for the moment.
The West Side Breeze to CAC? Well, you wouldn't in this situation, right? Because we're going after Smiths, right? Well, Humbug is.
That would have been a convenient bottle, but again, unable to lift things as a bunny, you just stare longingly at the bottle with the fairy in it and say, "I'll come back for you later, maybe."
I don't know. I feel like the south route is better in this situation because you get K45 and the race game and library, all of which are you don't even need to Super Bunny. Like you can see those items, and then you come up here and you can just mirror over, pick up Smith. Trying not to die. There we go. Wow, he Super Bunnied that cave so fast, I didn't even notice him doing it.
Right? I was like, wait, where did the Super... Oh, I see what he did. You do it at Meyer Shack all the time, but you don't think about it anywhere else.
Oh, you're right. That's why he did it so fast. He didn't actually do it.
That explains it.
Getting the item from the vendor just gave him Super Bunny state and he carried it into the cave. That makes sense. Alright, well we find Ether in Hammer Picks. Hey, I haven't slept in like... What time is it?
1438.
20 hours. Don't make fun of me, Ari.
Fire Rod on the Smiths. Humbug has it. Snoo's about to have it.
Guess what that puts in logic?
Hi, back of Skullwoods. How are you feeling today? But not the boss, because we need 3 keys.
One single in logic check in Skullwoods. Why haven't I slept? It's my day off! But I think more likely than back at Skullwoods is Meyer. Meyer is going to be our Moon Pearl location. With the hookshot, the sword, and the Ether Medallion. Hey, didn't we talk about this earlier?
We did.
Meyer is very, very accessible. And even though we don't have the keys to put it in logic, we do have the fire source to check the 2 firelock checks in Meyer. I guess coming from this direction. Oh, did we not sequence break to that bottle earlier for Jon Snuu?
No, he could sight check it only.
He had the mirror. He could have got it.
Yeah, and Humbug's trying to right now, but that was something that Snuu did not attempt.
Yeah, so Humbugh here is just setting up Super Bunny in a different way, and it's a little tricky sometimes if your hands don't cooperate. But what you do is you get as close to the transition as you can, and then you just transition and use the mirror at the same time, and you got it that time. But, you know, up and Y are on opposite sides of the controller, so unless you have really dexterous fingers, you have to use 2 different hands, and it's a lot harder to make 2 different fingers on 2 different hands do something at the exact same time. Yeah, he did kill his purple chest as well. Very unfortunate. And red crystals at Hera and Desert.
And would you look at that, we do have the book already, something that is required to get into Desert and Inverted. Missing a handful of other things to make that dungeon go. Most notably the big key, but the small key logically as well.
Humbugh is surprising me. Honestly, when he lost the purple chest, I thought he would just go straight to Meyer. But went all the way back for Sick Kid, and now we're going into Skullwoods. Although, you know, he did skip the vanilla big key chest in here earlier, huh? And Jon Snuu, unfortunately, taking a death from the flurry of birds, the murder of crows, before getting to scope out what is on Bombo's tablet. This room much simpler with the sword, as you can see.
Now the sword, you could use the boomerang on the Gibdos to simplify your life that way. There is a lot to be said for having a few extra tools in the toolbox before going there.
Jon Snuu coming all the way over here just to read Bombo's tablet? I guess we can sequence break the dam? Nope, not doing that. Well, more hearts to work with this time. Why are we going to Meyer? I guess Jon Snuu doesn't have magic. What? It was Bombo's tablet the whole time?
Okay, that's a legal play. Interesting.
Okay, so that's really, really horrible for Humbugh.
Who is very likely to make the play to Meyer after this.
I didn't even pick up when we got the Master Sword. Where was that?
Oh, where was that second sword? Because they've both got it and have had it for a little bit.
Oh, Bottle Vendor.
Ah, yeah, that would do it.
Oh, yeah, this is really unfortunate because Humbugh actually routed in a way that was a lot more conducive to turning in the purple chest, going to Kakariko first and then coming back south. But the mirror mishap trying to get to that bottle in K45 kind of ruined everything. And I got to think he's probably going to go to Meyer before he goes to Purple Chest and Bombos. And Sequence Brick and Mothula is just a pendant. Very unfortunate.
For pendant and a shield upgrade, let us not forget the shield upgrade, just in case it matters later.
In my sleep-deprived state, I have forgotten to get a drink. I will be right back.
Okay, quick chat, you know what to do. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure you know to do it. And one more shield. Humbug completes the set at 35 minutes. Jon Snuu seems to be set for everything that can be done in Desert, is standing right there on the entry to Mire and says, nope, you know what? I don't want to do it.
What? No Mire? That's
no
crazy.
Mire.
It's not that crazy. Mire's like not that great, right? We don't have the big key one with the cane. And you have the Moon Pearl, so
we have the Light
you can
World
do
access
everything.
now. You can go spend the next 20 minutes full clearing the Light World, like
Wow.
you do at the beginning of a seed, right?
Yeah, and Humbug actually went back for purple chest, and is going to do purple chest bombos before Mire. That's really surprising.
Yeah, but it is going to work out for him.
Because I mean, Mire just looks better. It's what, 6 checks in Mire?
Well, without the big key, you're not getting the boss or the big chest. Logically, the fire rods, or the fire locked side, I should say, not necessarily the fire rod side, although we have it as 3 key locked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even without the Firelock side, that's still 4 in logic checks that all could be the Moon Pearl.
It is.
But this will work out. Humbug gonna get the Moon Pearl here, assuming he doesn't get murdered by the murder of crows.
Jon Snuu almost forgot to remember the spottle. Turned back around for it.
The Moon Pearl!
Humbug back on track.
Not even gonna go into these desert checks over here that you're standing directly in front of?
Standing literally right on top of.
Really?
That's a choice.
Seriously? They were right there! I mean, sure, you don't want to go into desert, but you're gonna skip, like, checkerboard?
Yeah, one of those two had a pod small in it.
What was
which is kind of
that?
convenient.
Okay, I can't explain that. I can only think that we are on tilt or something. I mean, it is very tilting what happened with the mirror. This is a very fast play to the mountain, though. I feel like what you see most people do is put off the mountain, as long as they feel they can do so reasonably, because the mountain is quite terrible, and there are a lot of checks here that we can't do, right? Like so many checks in like Turtle Rock that are just completely inaccessible. I mean, we don't want to do it, but we can't do Hair Basement. And then the ones that are here, like, they're super slow, like having to climb up and down the mountain over and over again for Spiral Cave and Mimic Cave.
A lot of that I feel like doesn't really get better though, so you can just
Well, that's what you make it better by being able to do everything all at once. You know, like you drop down to Spiral Cave and then mirror and do Turtle Rock and then mirror back and do Spiral Cave.
There's one of those things that would have made it better, that Kane Samaria in Blind's old hideout on Jon Snoo's side.
Yeah, that's 3 more checks in Turtle Rock, all on its own. I think Humbug's thinking about that Hera big key. And these checks over here, I think 5 checks over here.
5 checks you can make, yep. Plus you can pick up either tablet and whatever. Oh, we knew there was a big key of some variety here.
Meyer big key, very nice to find. We can actually full clear Meyer once both runners have been to each other's locations. Ooh, and a cape. I don't think we've seen Bumper Cave yet, have we?
I do not believe we have.
It's a little weirder to route in because of the starting flute. We might see Jon Snuu mirror over to check it if he ends up going that direction.
The early returns on Tower of Hera have not been so great.
Humbugh Hera potting up to the top. We do have the big key. It's not necessary to do this. It's just a ever so slightly faster way. If you were Humbugh, you'd leave after Hera? That's a little crazy, right? Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I like Laser Bridge
Laser
at
Bridge.
the very least. That's a decent chunk of items all in one place.
And you got the mirror shield, so you don't even have to, like, try or anything.
Speaking of trying, we no longer really have to try to swim, at least not if we're Jon Snuu. The flipper's in the Sanctuary chest.
Coming around the left side, are we gonna get the mirror? Yeah, okay, that's good. This is awkward. This is an awkward location. It's very easy to forget about this. But just 5 rupees, so wouldn't have punished.
And there's what you have the Tower of Hera big key for. Red Crystal Tower of Hera on the board for Humbugh at 42 minutes and a half.
Well, Humbugh not taking Mike's advice, heading back over to East of Mountain. We'll see which one he chooses to do. There's 3 different drops here. You can do Spiral Cave, Mimic Cave, or Laser Bridge. We're going Mimic Cave. How is Bridge and Logic without Kane? And so in Inverted, you can start Turtle Rock from any of the 4 entrances if you have the mirror. So you can see Humbugh mirroring from Mimic Cave to get into the TR Big Chest entrance. And then with the hookshot, you can get across here and either go backwards to Lava Chest and Chain Chomps, or you can go forwards if we have the big key to Laser Bridge. Pet is dead, though. Worry not, chat.
Some other seed, some other time.
No, Laser Bridge does not require any extra items in advanced placement, which we are using. But we have those items anyway. Like, even if they were required, we have all 3. Yes, in basic placement, you must have one of the immunity items or the mirror shield.
Jon Snuu did have to revert to the middle of Skull Woods there, had tried to go to the moth here, and, well, you don't go through this door without a small key.
Oh, did he forget the pot key?
Yes, he did.
Oh.
Maybe a little strange that we've reached 45 minutes in and the seed has not fed us even a single Skull Woods key. You might almost think, maybe I should just not do this boss if the seed doesn't want me to do it that badly, but it's the efficiency play again.
You only get Skullwood's keys when you don't have the fire rod. Oh, there's one. Or if you already killed Mothula.
But once you go out of logic, the game keeps trying to drag you back into it, so you start getting all of the things that you don't actually need anymore.
Oh, it's 4.
Works, right?
Yeah. The cane is 4 checks. I forgot about Crystal Roller Room. So yeah, Jon Snuu gonna get a lot more value out of the mountain whenever he chooses to go there. And Humbug with one last check on the mountain. Went all the way back up Paradox a 3rd time for Spiral Cave.
If you say nothing else, you can say that Humbug is committing to his play.
Of not doing checkerboard and Agina.
And maybe Desert, or going into Mire.
I can't explain that at all. Not going into Checkerboard Cave, of all things. What'd you miss tracker-wise? Jon Snuu killed Mothula and found the Skullwood's big key. Yeah, and Humbug got a Skullwood's small key. Was there a big key in checkerboard? I don't know what was in checkerboard. I don't remember. I just know that he skipped it.
I think that was where Jon Snoo's second pod small was. Or maybe that was in the village and that's where Jon Snoo's second Turtle Rock small was. One of the two.
Chat says Thieves Town Big Key was in checkerboard.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it's not a big deal that he skipped it as long as he goes back there before he needs to go to Thieves Town, I guess. It's just like, when are you going back there? Like, you're not going back there right now, right?
Speaking of going places, Jon Snuu appears to have landed on the entirety of the Swamp Palace care package.
Yeah, we've had this full clear before a while. Except for the flippers. Wait, where were flippers? I can't hold the seat in my head anymore. Oh
yeah,
god.
I said flippers were somewhere and it's already
Where are the
right out of my head.
Hey, Bo!
Oh, right, the Sanctuary chest. We raided the poor box for them.
Alright, somebody write this stuff down. Bo was in Mini Moldorm Cave. So in like 10 minutes, when I can't remember where the bow was, you could just tell me. This is the weird, awkward part of Inverted where there's like 100,000 things to do.
And they're all in the light world, and you feel like you should have had them done for half an hour already, but
Yeah.
you don't, because it's inverted.
And because it's key sanity, all of them have progression. So the winner is whose progression lined up better, rather than who chose the right location.
And in the early game, it was pretty clearly humbug, and now it's decidedly more of a toss-up. Which is good. That means it's an interesting race, rather than being lopsided.
All right, humbug finally gonna go to the light world proper. Gonna check out Kakariko, Lost Woods, and the like. I mean, he got a bunch of things on Death Mountain, but nothing hyper critical right now. Just stray keys here and there.
And sooner or later, those add up. But at least for the moment, it's not really going to change his route.
And Jon Snuu is going straight to left side here. This is not surprising in Key Sanity. Key Sanity guarantees us to be 2 potential go mode items over here. How could you skip that when you need 100 different things?
When you still need about 47 of the 80 keys. It's not actually 80, it's not actually 80, but it sounds amusing. I think there are 40-some of them, though. That second small key to Ganon's Tower probably not going to be all that useful, but you'd rather have it in your pocket than not.
Seems likely.
This, after all, being the Tournament Key Sanity version where the GT Big Key can be literally anywhere, it does not have to reside in its vanilla dungeon.
I'm sure it will just be on the way and not at all a point of contention.
Not tucked away in the one pendant dungeon that nobody wants to touch.
Definitely not in Tile Room. Humbug headed over here to North Light World. Gonna grab Graveyard Ledge, probably drop into the escape. Where was GT Bag? Oh, we haven't found it, have we?
Not as far as I'm
Wait.
aware.
Wait, it's marked on Humbug's tracker. though.
Did he?
Oh, I
pick
guess
that
it was.
up?
I guess it was on the mountain. Whatever. Like,
Yeah, imagine finding things on the mountain, right? Nobody goes there.
it's so hard in the early game because they went to completely different locations, but they're all locations that they're both going to go to. No one's made any like huge gambles yet, except for Humbug skipping checkerboard. I'm a little worried about him skipping checkerboard. Because if we don't get items for desert, like, there's no reason for him to go back there. Because you can just flute to Mire, right? You don't have to mirror over to it.
And in fact, you can't mirror over to it in this particular mode.
Well, yeah, you can.
Oh, you would be mirroring to rather than fluting. Yeah. That's how this mode works.
Yeah, like without the flute, to get to Mire, you have to walk all the way over there. But we start with flute, so that is never required. I mean, eventually he'll just not have anything better to do and he'll go over there, but will that be too late is the question. Who knows? Maybe Thieves Town is one of our pendants and going to the back of Thieves is a complete waste of time, and that's actually the reason Humbug pulls ahead in this race later on. Who knows? It could happen.
It's entirely possible.
It's not really, but it could happen.
The Swamp Palace did turn out to be a crystal. The bug net was in there along with that Ganon's Tower small key, but didn't really notice a whole lot else that jumped right off the page.
No, it's not a dungeon you're going to feel bad about full fairing, though. When you have access to it this early, you just do it. And now Humbug does have that Key to Samaria, so that's 4 more checks in Turtle Rock that he could go back for. Another possible deal breaker here for Humbug, because those are checks that Jon Snoo is going to get on the way on his first trip to Turtle Rock. Where for Humbug ahead, it's this whole I got to climb the mountain all over again kind of thing. And he may want to wait for the rest of the items he needs for Turtle Rock before trying to do that. Where was Eastern Bay? I don't know, probably the mountain. If Humbug has it and Jon Snoo doesn't, it was on the mountain. If Jon Snoo has it and Humbug doesn't, it was like on South Shore and Swamp.
No, Humbug hit South Shore first. That was a relatively early play.
Oh, right. I don't know anymore.
But if it's on the Flippers checks that are about to happen, Humbug doesn't have it yet.
Jon Snoo gonna swim all the way up here to Hobo. The poor lonely hobo just wants to be friends. But not that bad. That's why he stays under the bridge.
Make sure that nobody can even get to you unless they have something they can swim with.
See, it's a friendship test, okay? Like, he doesn't want to be friends with just anybody. He wants to only be friends with the truly committed.
Makes you wonder what that 10-pack of bombs is about then. Probably best not to ask.
We try not to judge. Ice Palace here for Jon Snoo. This is a pretty nice play. We even have a small key. Oh, it's not marked on the tracker. But we do have it, so it does make this routing quite a bit nicer. Ice before Zora? More like ice on the way to Zora.
I love those bomb strats in that Vingator room. It just looks so clean and swaggy.
I'm not judging Sammy, just trying to help. So ice here is actually fully in logic. All the checks. 1 key, Key to Samaria, big key. We got this. Meanwhile, Humbug going into Swamp, gonna follow Jon Snoo around for a while until Jon Snoo goes to the mountain.
At which point we'll see everything even right back out. A map to Mire, but apparently we've got knowledge that's Crystal anyway. Maybe from Humbug. No. Well, do we have full knowledge now, or was I just misreading it? No, that was misreading it.
I don't.
Crystal's to the left of that big B in Mire.
I don't know anything.
I can read. So no, we did not have information on Mire, but now we can get it.
Yeah, it's convenient considering we can, or Humbug can both layer it anyway. Taking a bump from the Anti-Fairy there, not great for Jon Snuu. I'm not sure we have anything in our bottle. Tempered is nice, though.
Yeah, if you can find a way to get back up to full health, then there are some hearts in this room that you could potentially use to do that if you wanted to. You could duplicate your fire rod shots with sword beams and get where you need to go. Or I guess you can, since we do have that extra key, we can just go into the refill room and there.
Yeah, it looks like he
over there.
Did he find an extra key, or I guess he just stole one? Oh, he gets bumped again. Stop it. Alright, the refill room definitely going to be enough here to get full magic before the boss. And, you know, as long as we're able to break the ice, everything's going to be fine. Tempered Sword's going to make pretty quick work of Cold Stare here. Nicely done.
Yeah, you just kind of hold all the Cold Stare buffs there in the corner, and now you can butter up every other boss in the game.
Now we can kill Cold Stare even faster.
Next time, Cold Stare. Of course, they had MC Boss Shuffle as their first game, so that's unlikely to crop back up. At least not in this series.
So I don't think we found anything super great in Ice Palace. I mean, the sword's nice and everything, but it's not helping us that much.
Yeah, there's a difference between the convenience items and the progression.
Ooh, Desert Small Key, though, in Waterfall Fairy. That's going to be pretty important for Humbug to make going back over to the Thief's Humbug easier. Oh, and that'll make it even easier still. The Titan's Mitts on Zora Ledge. Okay, Humbug is gonna be fine. He'll make his way over to Checkerboard way quicker than we expected. Mitts also makes routing the mountain a little bit more convenient for Jon Snuu. Checkerboard Cade had the Thieves' Humbug key. Alright, well, we have options. Jon Snuu looks like we're going somewhere. Oh, right.
Something that he wanted to do earlier and wasn't able to.
Those darn bushes. Humbug not doing the flipper checks, just gonna go straight to Ice Palace. Well, that's kind of bad because the flipper checks are the place that had all the things.
Yeah, the Ice Palace was just a bit of time consumption and a butter sword at the end.
And that was Steve Small in the Uncle Drop. Well, oh wow, I can't believe it let you mirror there.
I disagree, video game.
You can't mirror there. Anyway, we found the Thieves Malt, which means we can now full clear Thieves Town, and it is a crystal.
Since we won't see another new check here for a hot minute, and we are about an hour into this thing, this is probably as good a time as we're going to get to remind you, if you like the show these runners have been putting on for you today, Humbug and John Snoo, go ahead and drop them a follow on their own channels.
As somebody who loves putting off these until I have the small key, I agree. This is by far the best play on the board. So far this seat, though, everything's coming up John Snoo. There were things in the places that Humbug went that John Snoo hasn't, but they weren't things that made John Snoo's places better, you know? So the routing efficiency is all on John Snoo's side. Humbug. That's nerve-wracking if you miss it the first time, because now you know it's possible.
Because then you have to get it right, and once you have to get it right, the trick becomes a lot more difficult, regardless of what the trick in question is.
Nice quick cycle on the Ancient Fairy there.
It's kind of like Hammer Trinex. It's fine as long as it doesn't matter, but as soon as it matters, then it's difficult.
I've never missed an Ice Rod shot when I had half magic. It's impossible if you have half magic. I'm pretty sure the Ice Rod shot becomes a homing Ice Rod shot in that case.
Yeah, as long as I have any kind of a magic extension going into that fight, I've never had a problem, but as soon as you're trying to do it on one bar with no backup safety of any kind, woof.
Another pod key. I think that's our 5th one.
Between 2 runners, that looks right.
Yeah. No. John Snoo should only have 3, I think. You had or 4, or however many he had before.
Yeah, I think that was Snoo's 3rd. I think the other couple that Humbug have found were, again, part of that mountain package that hasn't really changed anything yet. Cold Stare getting just a little loose there on Humbug, but cleans the fight up nicely. Puts that crystal in the back pocket, says 3 crystals down? 1 hour? That's not terrible for a keys mode.
Well, Thieves Town did not have all the things. But a crystal. Whatevs. Alright, are we out of things that are not called going to the mountain for John Snoo?
Unless he finally wants to bite on Meyer, but that would be a routing inefficiency since we know that Meyer Big is, again, up here, and yep, this is where he's going.
Speaking of Meyer Big, Humbug going into Meyer with that Meyer Big key.
Plus a small and the Cane of Samaria has the hookshot to be able to get in. There are some people out there who believe that the game really likes to lock one of hookshot or boots behind the other, so maybe keep an eye out here in the next couple of minutes.
Oh, Jon Snoo is such a nice guy. He knows that the pink bully guy is really lonely. Just wanted a friend. Talk to him, listen to his story. Right in the middle of a race and everything. Who would do that?
Well, they say if something's important, you make the time. All right, so this is one of those things I was talking about where Jon Snoo's route just worked out better. Where Humbug found a bunch of things on the mountain, but none of them really helped on the rest of the world in the light world. But Jon Snoo found items in the light world that makes the mountain better, because now we can do 4 extra checks here in Turtle Rock. Pendant Turtle Rock, but still 4 checks. So we pay very close attention to these 3 right here. Will they have progression? And if they do, how long will it take Humbug to get back here? Now, what they did have was an exceptional Guardian Bari there.
I'd say we should promote him, but I think he's dead now. Just a Turtle Rock key there in the vanilla big key chest. Half magic. It's nice to find, but not critical. Turtle Rock key is pretty much pointless. Like, you still logically need all 4 for Trinex, etc., but you don't practically need them because we can just mirror to the other entrances.
Plus, as you noted, with it being, that pendant, you kind of are hoping, well, I don't want the game to put Trinex in logic anyway. Why would I want to go have that fight? It's kind of time-consuming. The death animation's really long. There are 3 of them because, again, Trinex.
Oh, Jon Snoo actually going to get change helms from this direction. I guess this is probably faster than backtracking.
Yeah, it has enough keys to support it.
But we did not find anything important in the front of Turtle Rock, so those 3 checks certainly will not be burning Humbug today.
And Humbug finds an almost entirely valueless Quake medallion unless you really want to use it on the dead rocks.
You could kill Pengators with it.
Would be a really interesting situation in which either of these runners decide to go back to Ice Palace. Now, if this has secretly been Inimizer all this time and we run across some Pengators somewhere, then by all means.
Still no big key, so we won't be doing the big chest today. And to get to Crystal Roller Room, we're going to have to go backwards from Laser Bridge. Yeah, it is a little weird that he chose to do the Turtle Rock big entrance first. Because there's so many other checks on the mountain that might have had the TR big key. Of course, we know that's not going to happen. But he doesn't know.
Might simply have been in the mindset of, it's Turtle Rock time, so I'm going to do the Turtle Rock things, rather than just working it in as a larger scheme on the mountain.
Quake turns dead rocks into something that can be killed, but it doesn't kill them outright. All right, Humbug cleans up Meyer, and again, nothing super important. And this does look like we're going back for those flipper checks for Humbug.
Unless he wanted to go clear more of Palace of Darkness, I don't know that there's really a lot left available to him at the moment.
Well, hopefully he does flipper checks. You know, he might be going Eastern Pot here. No, because you'd go to Flute Spot 5 if you're doing Eastern Pot, right?
Yeah, it's by far faster to get to Pod in the inverted set by fluting to 5 and going into the light roll, and then you can just mirror over if you have a mirror.
I believe, wasn't Humbug the one that walked a catfish, though?
Yes, this is true. I like to trot out these little tidbits about inverted that I do know because I don't really play this mode, and so for most of this I just make it up as I go along because it's close enough to the game that I actually play.
And there's that big Keeper Mire for Jon Snuu, another full clearable dungeon. Save and quits from the hobo. What? No, wait, what? Why?
I feel like that's a question that's been asked quite a bit in these first 76 minutes.
God, it was so much time. You like to go flute to 4, you have to go down a screen, go left a screen, mirrors transition, right a screen, north a screen, right a screen, down a screen, right a screen, up a screen, left a screen, get one check, save and quit. What is that?
It kind of feels like that was Humbug said, oh wait, I remember there's this thing that I didn't do when I super bunnied the rest of this earlier, and I should probably get it because it's been in logic for a hot minute now, and I'd like to cover myself against the possibility that something terrible is there.
Looks like he's going to go to the flipper checks from turning in the mushroom. Okay, so this does make a little bit of sense. He just wanted to get Hobo out of the way before doing this. Unfortunately, the mushroom not having progression, that was one of the few things that Humbug was able to grab from the mountain that mattered for this Light World route. Jon Snuu finishing off Moldorm with a poke. And that's crystal number 4.
Yep, even crystal count between the runners once again here at 1 hour and 18 minutes.
Oh, Hera Basement. Did we see this from Humbug?
No, I don't think he had the small fee when he was up here.
Interesting. Could matter. Very difficult to ever return to Hera after you didn't do this on the first trip.
One of those checks that becomes even more inconvenient and inverted because it's not like you can just climb up the light mountain and mirror over. No, you have to do the full loop around.
Alright, mitts in hand, where are we going, Humbug? Probably over to Desert, right? Yeah. Gotta go check that checkerboard cave that was 2 inches away from you when you got Darkhold access.
May as well dive desert first, since you have the Desert Palace Small, you're going to wind up on that right-hand side anyway.
Hopefully he didn't just forget about it or something.
That would be a supremely unfortunate position.
Well, as long as nobody finds the boots, then it's fair.
Once you've crossed that hour mark and you still don't have the boots, you're thinking, can I please just go past now? Can the video game be fun? Please? Please?
I like pumping. It makes me feel like I'm good, you know? Because I'm putting so much effort into something that saves so little time, and that's what all the good players do.
Well, there was the match between Vextfur and P-Train that came down to a number of frames, and Vextfur is a known tryhard at pumping, and so I tease him all the time now that he only beat P-Train because he tries just as hard as he possibly can at the video game.
Does P-Train not pump?
He probably does, but
I feel like P-Train probably...
about it.
P-Train's kind of tryhard about stuff like that too.
Well, in that case, maybe he just physically outpumped him. It's possible.
There are different degrees of pumping. Alright, so here's another check from John Snoo. Crystal Roller Room here is something Humbugh was unable to do earlier. Humbugh, meanwhile, in Checkerboard Cave, gets that Thieves' Town Big Key we were so worried about, and he has something good to do now, even though we know it's empty. Just 300 rupees. Not the answer here. So, pod? Anybody?
Yeah,
Pod?
I think we're coming back down to pod with... Once both of them have done all of the other checks, we'll be sitting on 5 keys, so we're still not at the logical requirement for a handful of the things that might we want to, but it's pod. There's probably a small key to pod in pod, right? That happens all the time.
I think it's guaranteed.
Unless we get something in the 4 locked section that leads us to something else, and that something else gives us access to the 6th pod small, and the game just wants us to come back later, and nobody's going to do that. We're just going to sequence break with 5. But logically.
This seed is tiresome. Or maybe I'm just tired. Everyone just does everyone else's checks and nothing changes.
Because the seed's holding out on us. You know, sometimes there are those really linear seeds where nobody ever gets to make a choice, and those are pretty boring. But then there are the ones like this, which feel like they're not supposed to be linear, but secretly are. I'm pretty sure these are worse.
Eastern Big Key? Yeah, I guess it was the escape. Yeah, Jon Snoo didn't do the escape. Humbug sequence broke into it, like, immediately. And then Jon Snoo eventually came back for Uncle, but didn't do front of escape.
That is relatively easy to get at with Aga dead and inverted. You can just save and quit to the top of the castle and jump right on in. But
yeah, but do you do that before going to pod?
Probably not.
Yeah, and then if you go to pod and say the answer wasn't in pod, like, you mirror over and do Eastern, right? It's not like you're going to leave and go do front of escape. Oh, this could be really bad for Jon Snoo. I may have just forgot about it.
I'm starting to wonder, given that the big key to Eastern has shown up and the big key to Pod has not, those are our last two remaining dungeons that we don't have the information on. Eastern the Crystal seems maybe a little more likely.
Yeah, Boa's Mini Moldorm Cave. I'm pretty sure Humbug has it.
I'm reasonably certain he does.
Alright, down to 4 hearts. Can Humbug do it? Very difficult boss fight. Takes 9 hits. Whew, that was close. I want the boots. Where are the boots? I'm not even playing the game and I need the boots. Alright, yeah, here's Pod Eastern for Humbug.
And we were talking about how maybe the routing efficiency had been on Jon Snoo's side, but the extra checks that were enabled for him on the mountain all basically came up completely empty. And so it became time that he just bled away to Humbug, who's now going to start making the new checks for us.
Yeah, the efficiency actually costs time. Now he'll get that time back if Humbug returns to the mountain to get those checks again. But right now, the big story of this seed is that Eastern Big Key.
And that was inconvenient Turtle Rock Big Key in Saha's closet.
Well, if Humbug does return to Turtle Rock, there is one extra check he can do there. Alright, what do we need for go mode? Do we even know? We don't know, right? Where the pendant is?
It's possible that we need a Palace of Darkness Big Key and a Desert Palace Big Key for sure.
Oh, Pod's the crystal.
Okay, so we need 2 big keys.
Why? Okay, so maybe the Eastern Big isn't as important as we thought.
Or one of the other big keys could be behind it. Its value could be practically incalculable.
Incalculable. It's a hard word to say.
It is.
But on 5 keys, Humbug can do every check here except for the big key locked ones. Jon Snoo finishes up Pod and probably gonna head to, or finishes up Meyer and probably gonna head to Pod next.
Again, I think both of our runners have really cornered themselves into this area of the world. Everything else, by and large, is done.
Oh no, we still have a desert for Jon Snoo. Oh good, we found the compass to Pod. Now we can check to see what the boss is.
Okay, because Jon Snoo
I hope it's almost
had made the desert die really early without the Desert Palace small, so it has 2 checks left in here. That makes sense.
Yeah, unfortunately going to be a triple dip. quick and easy hammer up there for Humbug. Unfortunately, no big key.
Last available check in Palace of Darkness. Oh hey, a bow. Look at that.
What? A bow and pod? I've never seen that before.
Why is that there?
What kind of topsy-turvy, bizarre world is this?
Well, as soon as you set the inverted flag state, all things are possible, or at least some different things are possible.
Pod being empty, though, means this is very likely just going to be Eastern. And if it's locked by the big key, ooh, for Jon Snuu. So it's 4 checks in Eastern for Jon Snuu, but 6 for Humbug.
And then the 7th with the green pendant.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's not guaranteed to be Eastern. This is not our last location. There are some other things. They're just all terrible. Wait, how many things are there? Is it just
trying to
Turtle Rock?
think,
I think it might just be the Turtle Rock big chest.
Yeah, that's the one that's coming to mind. Now, from Humbug's point of view, we could also have a play into Hera Basement while up there on the mountain.
Yeah, and he has 4 other checks in Turtle Rock as well. All right, is it in the Eastern big chest? No. No, it is not. What are we gonna find anyway? I think it's probably one of the big keys we need.
If we're really unlucky, it's the Ice Rod.
Gross. Yeah, Desert Big Key would get us 2 items in Desert, but then also the 2 in Pyramid Fairy as well. Alright, last in logic check for Jon Snuu is the boots. So Jon Snuu at least will get his boots here. That is also 2 more checks at Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb. I don't think there was anything on the Desert Torch.
I want to say that was a compass of some flavor, although it was at least something that was meaningless enough that I kind of put it out of sight, out of mind.
Now boots are super nice, but it's not a okay, I can totally leave this dungeon now kind of item, you know? It's essentially just a like super powered fetch quest.
The one fetch quest that you actually like to see. Well, plus or minus the powder.
And here is Silver's Armos. Blink and you miss it. 6 arrows, 6 explosions, and a heart container for your troubles.
That's 2 of the 3 bailouts that you wanted to see if you're a Jon Snuu partisan, but we still
one
have
more.
that green pendant outstanding.
One more. And it looks like we're going to get to see what it is before Jon Snuu makes a decision on whether or not to go to Eastern. He almost definitely goes into Eastern, but you don't have to. It's a fetch quest.
Okay, so we're going to put that knowledge off for just a little while.
All right, and Jon Snuu, what do you do? Probably go to Eastern? Yeah.
You pretty much have to. It's not the most inconvenient thing to come back to in this mode, but still.
Looks like Humbug's going after Booch checks first. So if Shovel's nothing, this is actually good for Jon Snuu because he doesn't commit time to killing Armos here. Humbug's still in a lead though.
But if he winds up in the position of doing Turtle Rock, then how much of Turtle Rock is going to matter? How much of it do you have to do before you get at the one new check that we have with that big key? You probably land on that first, but there's a lot to be said for density too.
Oh, and the boots didn't lead to anything. Which means this is a completely unnecessary Eastern dip for Jon Snuu. Alright, Humbug gonna go after the shovel, and we'll find out if it was hopeless the entire time. I mean, yeah, the boots are super nice, but this is pretty late in the seed. So the value that they have has been diminished greatly. Jon Snuu has the big key. Wait, what? What? Okay, we've been bamboozled, chat. This entire time, we have been bamboozled. Okay, all right. This is where Quickswap has come to bear on our lives. See, without Quickswap, we would have been menuing. Somebody would have caught it. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I don't remember him doing front of escape at all. Okay, and meanwhile, the shovel was the answer. That was the desert big key we were looking for.
Which means Jon Snuu will get it as long as he follows through with the play and is just going to be behind Humbug by the amount of time that it takes him to get there.
It wasn't just you, Sammy. Nobody in chat caught it either. God, when did he do front of escape? I don't remember that. All we need for go mode is the pod big key.
Which could just be here on Land Mullahs, could be in Pyramid Ferry, but then we have that outstanding check in TR just waiting to be done.
Humbug has a pretty nice lead at the moment. And it's likely Jon Snuu is just going to keep following him around because you don't have enough checks left to really diverge.
It's not like you're going to get your next piece of the progression in that Desert Palace big key and say, no, you know what, I'm going to go follow something else first instead. That would just be a little silly.
Alright, well, we'll see where Jon Snuu goes next. And on Lambo, a small key for Meyer. Not helpful.
Well, we're trying to get that fire-locked side in Logic one of these days.
Yeah, and Jon Snuu going after Booch checks. I mean, honestly, it just makes more sense to go after Booch checks here. But unfortunately, that was not what he needed to do. I was actually doing Mushroom into Booch checks. And Humbug didn't find anything behind the Desert Big Key in Desert, so I'm going to follow it a little bit further over to Pyramid Ferry.
No real reason not to. It's either that or you go ahead and climb the mountain again, and then if you're wrong, you get to reclimb potentially later if you find something that, say, the ice rod, putting Trinex in logic. Just go ahead and get the things out of the way down here and do the rest of the mountain in one fell swoop.
All right, Pyramid Fairy, are you my answer? Nope. Yep.
Yep, I think that was the only one left. So the Desert Palace Big Key to Pyramid Fairy for the Palace of Darkness Big Key. And finally, at 1 hour and 40 minutes, go mode for Humbug.
Go mode. Ah, muscle memory. Muscle memory. Or is this faster? Actually, this might be faster.
This is faster.
Even with the mirror transition?
The pod maze is long and slow and arduous.
I mean, straight line's so... What's the word? Like, utilitarian. I need bends and hooks and turns, curves, loops, loop-de-loops. That's what makes the world go round.
So what you're saying is you like the boots, but only because they let you do super speed state?
There's some ROM hacks where you can like turn while dashing. It's impossible to use. But yes, this is go mode for Humbug. And unfortunately there's no reasonable way for Johnson to catch up at this point.
Yeah, at this point you start talking about your opponent makes mistakes somehow, as in just outright execution errors on the climb. That's asking a lot when you have Butter Sword and 16 Hearts Blue Mail.
Yeah, and it's not even just like one mistake. Like it's not like one gain in death is gonna do it. Humbug has a sizable advantage at the moment.
I think the size of the error we're talking about is something along the lines of accidentally mirroring out of Aga 2.
God, I'm not even sure that would be enough.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that would be enough by itself.
Here, we can start tracking the timer. We'll record the Humbug crystal grab here. All right, crystal grab at 1:43:30. Somebody
The other nice thing about bringing the Light World access up here is you can save and quit. You can step back into the Light World and save and quit having killed Aga and go right where you want to.
Alright, yeah, that is convenient. Thanks, Aga. Although we don't get the Moon Crystal Beam power. It's unfortunate. Should have drank a potion.
I thought at some point that wound up getting patched out.
Nah, they patched out the item dashing, the barrier, to skip the cutscene entirely. But your sword beams taking on the graphic of the crystal still happens.
Interesting.
Well, one saved time, and the other one is just silly. I think actually, when Sinek mentioned that they were patching out the item dashing thing, I asked him about the crystal beam power, and he didn't even know what I was talking about. because there's literally no reason for anyone to ever do it.
Aside from fun, and at the end of the day, isn't that why we play the game?
Oh yeah, I do it every inverted seat I play. I'll drink a potion before opening the entrance just to do it. Of course, I'm also the kind of person who uses the wrong medallion in front of Meyer just so I can toss the burb.
Even stopping to drink a potion, Humbug is already through the gauntlet portion of the program here.
Yeah, this is super fast.
He's so good!
Imagine, a round of 32 runner is so good at the video game.
Coincidence?
Possibly, but I think not. Jon Snuu going to go ahead and follow through with the Pyramid Fairy play for probably even better reasons than Humbug had. There were some more checks up there on the mountain for Humbug, but just go ahead and get the thing out of the way while you're in the area.
Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't a... It wouldn't have been reasonable for Humbug to go to the mountain, even with how many checks were up there, because you commit all this time into going to, you know, location A, and then it leads to location B, and you need it to lead to location C before you go anywhere else. And that is go mode for Jon Snuu.
Humbug going to ignore the ultimate chest of the game. It is a race after all.
What if it had the ice rod?
What if it was secretly all Dungeons Key Sanity after all?
Surprise!
You'll be very much surprised when Ganon calls you a dingus.
Well, that would just be rude. Oh, actually, I think Humbug's actually gonna kill Ganon before Jon Snuu kills Helma.
It takes a little while to get to Helmasaur King.
We should have picked a different timer.
The timer may be that the game ends.
Well, I mean, to see how far apart they were.
Ah, Zelda 2 text, classic.
Seven and a half minutes. Butter Sword making quick work of the pig. It would make more sense if he was a lobster instead of a pig.
Yeah, I don't know to butter pig so much.
Or maybe if you had like a mint jelly sword, you know? You put mint jelly on ham, I think. Okay. That was a sketchy location there. We got it, okay.
Explosions of pig, and Humbug's gonna stand there for just a few more seconds with that sword raised in the victory pose. And all he's got to do is cross the bridge that's going to extend for him and stop the timer. That is the game and the series. 2-0 to Humbug.
GG. And Jon Snuu did forfeit. That's why his screen frozen. I think he just cut his delay. Well, hopefully we can get one or both of them in here for an interview. I don't have any information.
Yep, you said that, and I was peeking the race room. It looks like we're not going to get Jon Snuu, and I don't know about Humbug. Well, now we might know about Humbug. We do have him in the setup join now, and here we go. The victor 2-0 in this best of 32 rounds, the best of 3 series, round of 32. Humbug, good game to you.
GG, Humbug. You don't want to talk to us? That's fine. Whatever. It's cool. I get it. I understand.
Maybe it's a commentary on the seed that you just endured.
He said there's some technical issues. Hold on.
It's Discord. It would not be the first time, nor will it be the last, sadly.
Well, this seed was kind of a, I don't know. I felt it was pretty resident sleeper. The race was back and forth most of the time, but the seed itself, blah.
Yeah, the seed itself, I was kind of saying in the midst of it that there are those linear seeds that you know are linear seeds, and then there are the ones like this one where it's secretly linear, but instead you just have to go everywhere and do everything because nothing is conveniently placed for you.
Yeah, the whole seed just came down to going to Pod Eastern, and like, sure, yeah, I guess you could have gone to Pod Eastern earlier, but no one ever would, is the thing. To be at this stage in the tournament, you have to have a semblance of understanding of efficient routing, and efficient routing in this seed means doing Pod Eastern super late, getting the boots super late.
Hello.
Right. Oh, there he is.
Now we've got him. Good game, Humbug.
GG.
Thanks. I don't know. It was the mic issue was unplug, deplug. It worked.
Classic.
Classic, right? Okay, so I feel somewhat attacked in a way by this turn in general, because I feel like I have to play seeds that teaches Twitch chat something new every time. It's it's bomb dupe to bypass hammer in Pyramid Fairy twice, or it's like in this seed, it's stupid Moon Pearl on Bombo's tablet. Come on.
I could not believe that you went back for Bombo's tablet after ditching your purple chest on accident. I thought for sure you would go to Meyer first.
Yeah, no, hell no. Not when I just got Master Sword off of Bottle Merchant. I'm gonna eat the time loss. I'm a dummy. I made a mistake. Let's just live with it. Yeah.
And then when you finally get your moon pearl and you're standing there in the desert area, what do you do?
I do not realize that I just got the moon pearl. I can do the rest. I realized the moment that I jumped down and I saw my sprite turn to Yoshi, but it didn't register until I had fluted away. That wait, I should go back there.
You could have
But
put it back.
now it's too late. And
The
of
portal was still
course-
there.
I know, but it just feels like I don't know.
Well,
And then I made the
thankfully-
dumbest decision of all: go to
What's
the
that?
mountain without
Yeah,
Samaria.
That
What
was,
is that about? Why do you do that? I was just so agitated by the stupid purple chest and that specific location for the moon pearl that I wasn't thinking straight. I realized my mistake as I was going up the mountain, but then I was just okay, fine, maybe Samaria's up here. But of course,
Yeah, in the early game, you took a little bit of a lead. I mean, you both like last located Aga, obviously, because why wouldn't you?
exactly.
But Jon Snoo spent some extra time like farming bombs. His route wasn't quite as efficient. So you had a lead coming into the light world, and then you did front of escape immediately, and he left and started going to look for the moon pearl. And he ends up getting the moon pearl first, and then starts doing Kakariko, and he gets Cane of Samaria. He gets the Thief's Ambiki out of Checkerboard, and you go to the mountain and get like nothing, and orphan a bunch of checks in Turtle Rock, and we're like, oh man, Humbugh's dead in the water. There's no recovery. Oh no! But it turned out that those things that he got didn't matter either, and the things that you skipped didn't matter either.
Nope.
And it all just converged on this. Okay, I guess I ran out of crystals. Time to go to pod.
Yep. And like getting the, I think we had Eastern Big Key before Moon Pearl. I think that was in the Dark World somewhere.
Yeah, we think it was front of escape. We're not sure.
It was still before the Moon Pearl for my part. But getting the bow in Minimal Dome Cave, I was very tempted to continue to actually just do Eastern at that point. But like I still hadn't been to Kakariko.
Right.
And then I got Flippers, I got Samaria, and I could do a lot of crystals, and it was just okay, screw Eastern, we'll do it later, if ever.
Yeah, and then by the time you finally go to pod Eastern, you find out Eastern's the pendant, so of course you do pod first.
Of course.
Put off those boots for just a little longer. What's another hour and 45 minutes without boots?
Exactly. I was sure that boots were in GT. Like I would never get them. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm glad I got them. Except for the part of them forcing me to do 2 checks that were unnecessary, but that was fine.
I mean, there was tons of divergence between you guys in the sea, but you all ended up pretty much doing all the same checks, except for those cane lock checks on the mountain.
And Hera Basement.
Right, yeah. That was a pretty big commit, but you had to at that point if you have the key and you're up there.
Yep. Yeah. Had I had it, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have done.
Yeah, it takes so long.
Basement, all of TR. Yeah.
It takes so long to get back to Hera if you don't do it. It's like being up there without the mirror in a normal seed.
Yep. Oh boy.
But yeah, going 2-0 against Jon Snoo. Moving on to the round of 16. Do we know who you're going to be up against?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to be up against either Obscure Lifeform or his opponent in round of 32, who I'm not
Which
sure
is
who
Ikir, I believe.
Oh, which is Ikir. Okay. So either Ikir or Obscure. And I think they have their match scheduled like anytime.
Yeah,
That
according to the
three
challenge
is tonight. Yep.
Yeah, they're tied up 1-1. So I'm sure you'll be watching that one.
I might.
Well, you'll be watching.
I might also be
for-
sleeping.
You'll be watching for the results.
For sure, for sure.
Well, I don't think I have any more questions about this seed. You were, it was just a slow, tedious seed.
Yep.
Inverted keys, everybody.
Inverted keys with flute, with activated flute. I actually feel sometimes that flute actually make the seeds worse.
It helps in like one way, and then it makes it worse in two other ways.
Yep. Agreed. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, like it's nice being able to go immediately to Mireshed, but it's not nice being able to go immediately to Pod and Lionel's.
Good point. Yeah, Lionel's can be tough. Pod can be dumb. So yeah, I don't know. I would probably prefer it without the flute, but that's okay.
There's a bunch of
it makes it a bit different, so that's fine. That's fine.
There's a bunch of inverted changes that they made on like I think it's on the Overworld branch. The Overworld Randomizer branch.
Okay.
That I think some of them at least are being planned to eventually be implemented on the main site, but I don't know.
Did they remove the rock south of Village Southwest?
I'm not sure what's different exactly, but it's stuff like that.
Yeah. They perhaps constructed a ladder up the mountain on Easted Mountain as well.
Something to make it just a little less bleh.
But I mean, I enjoy Inverted anyway. It's a fun twist to the game. I actually find it kind of fun to go into Ice Palace with 4 hearts, green mail, hammer. Yeah. Part of me really enjoys that, so I think it's fun. This was the second time I got.
I mean, I learned those 2 bomb strats for the Pengator room for a reason.
Hell yeah!
This is it.
For sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Humbugh, for the amazing race between you and Jon Snuu. Congrats on your victory, and good luck against Obscure or Akir.
Thank you very much.
Mayan DM, are we ready to close it out?
I think this is the part where we're supposed to close it out. Thanks for keeping me company for a couple of hours here. It was maybe not the most interesting of seeds, but at least we got through it, right?
Yeah. It wasn't that bad. I've definitely seen worse seeds.
Most assuredly. So this is probably the part where we should remind everybody out there, if you want some more of the tournament action in your life, we do have some games on the schedule coming up this evening. Let me grab that for you really quick. A 6:40 Eastern start, Ikir versus Obscure Lifeform, the aforementioned potential opponents of Humbugh on SpeedGaming 6. And at the 8:10 p.m. nightcap, Chimo versus Plasma Kappa Game 2 on SpeedGaming 2. If you want to know more about the schedule for Speed Gaming, both this tournament and other things, go to speedgaming.org/schedule. You can follow Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 2 through 6. If you want more of the tournament, ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 5. The Speed Gaming foreign language channels, Francais, Portuguese, Deutsche, and Espanol. I think we've covered most of it. Yeah, good game once again to both of the runners. And don't forget to give them a follow, putting on the show for your entertainment here. Cocom's been Koi Stream. I will let you have the final word here, although I will say that our tracker was Sammy Moss.
Oh, I was going to berate you for forgetting the tracker.
Now, why would I forget the tracker? The tracker's the one who does the important work.
Thank you, Sammy. All right, everybody. That's it for us. Have a wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.